Hello everyone, very good afternoon to all the viewers of Unacademy Law. This is Kushagra Goyal, your educator for the CLAT examination and all that is related to general knowledge. So, बहुत स्वागत है on March 10. I know a lot of you must be on your TV screens watching the results as they come in. They seem like an exciting news for us as new update is coming in every second. It is a very exciting time for as a democracy. Voting is the one that keeps the political parties on their tenterhooks, so that is an essential part. But from our exam point of view, at max they can be a part of 5 marks, right? If you are an aspirant for the examination or any entrance examination, it is the information from the election that becomes important, not the news around it. Hamara kaam, or for us as students, it is to prepare for the information that filters out. So right now it is better off and you all will be better off अगर आप अपना फोकस इलेक्शन की रिजल्ट्स किस तरीके से चल रहे हैं उसकी जगह फाइनली जब रिजल्ट्स आ जाएंगे तब आप उसके बारे में बात करें, राइट? बिकॉज राइट नाउ who is winning from where, who is leading from which constituency, how much the things are shifting on a daily basis, every minute is not important for us. हमारे लिए क्या important है कि इलेक्शन कहाँ हो रहे हैं, इलेक्शन कौन करवा रहा है, इलेक्शन किस थीम पे हो रहे हैं, which states are the one that are going ahead with it, and which is the political party that eventually triumphs in that regard. So those will be the crux of the information that can be asked from us in the examination also. So हम आज elections के बारे में कम बात करेंगे. We will talk more about the other things that matter to us. So on that note, very good afternoon to those who have tuned in live. Very good afternoon Swarna, Isham, Sarthak, Middat. Very good afternoon. Now I have some very exciting news for you for today's session. That is, आज के दिन I will be hosting a doubt session for all of you at 1:10 p.m. instead of, and it will be on any subject. मतलब आप अपने CLAT section से related किसी भी particular type का doubt, mock test का कोई भी doubt, any topic that you have a doubt about, you all can ask me that at 1:10 p.m. Okay? Which is that this will be a free special class, a free open class होगी अभी doubt session पे. Okay, all your doubts related to preparation, strategy, anything that you want to ask, any subject that you want to have, any questions that you have doubts about, we will solve all of that. This is at 1:10 p.m. on the Learners app of Unacademy. आपको सिर्फ कोड की जरूरत होगी KUSHGK. सो अगर आपको कोई भी डाउट है रिलेटेड टू योर प्रिपरेशन, कोई मॉक टेस्ट जिसमें कोई क्वेश्चन सॉल्व नहीं हो रहा है, importance of any topic, arrangement, anything related to your CLAT preparation or any other thing in your law entrance exam, you can ask me in this open doubt session. So do not miss out. अपने कोई भी पुराने mock test में अगर आपको कोई doubt है तो you can ask that. Okay? Hi Prime, very good afternoon to you also. Hi Pixio, interesting username that you have. Hi Ashwini, very good morning to you also. So हम सबसे पहले आज का न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस करेंगे और उसके बाद आपका डाउट सेशन है. सो अगर आपको कोई भी डाउट है रिलेटेड टू योर प्रेप, देन यू ऑल कैन आस्क मी दैट. हाय अदिति, वेरी गुड आफ्टरनून टू यू ऑल्सो. सो शुरू करते हैं आज का हमारा न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस. नाउ कल वी हैड डिड or yesterday we had spoken about how the president of Ukraine, that is Volodymyr Zelensky with the double Y, he confirmed that see they have given up on their demand for becoming a NATO member. In that regard, the Russian ministry has now given certain other demands on which they are willing to end the conflict. So a political solution to the conflict is on the horizon, is what seems to be the case. And they have also listed out that overthrowing the Ukrainian government is not our goal. This is Russia's. So political solution out of the current conflict seems likely to us as the war drags on. See, जितना ज़्यादा वॉर लंबा चलेगा उतना ही इट एडवांटेजेस रशिया, उतना ही इट डिसएडवांटेजेस द पीपल ऑफ यूक्रेन. सो देयरफॉर देयर फोकस विल बी ऑन अ मिडिल पाथ, दैट इज अ पॉलिटिकल सॉल्यूशन. ऑलराइट. And the Prime Minister yesterday, our Prime Minister called on the Hungarian Prime Minister as the evacuation ends. Now this is under Operation Ganga. Okay, all the Indian students who were stuck in Ukraine are at the verge of being evacuated. So the operation name is very, very important. Operation Ganga, and the countries from which the operation was carried out becomes very important for us. On that note, also, can we do editorials first? No, we go flow wise. We do not do editorials first. Front page, then any other relevant national news, और उसके बाद editorials. Very good afternoon Sohaini, very good afternoon Nandini. So बात करते हैं. सबसे पहले इसके अंदर what you have to note down is who was the Hungarian counterpart for the Prime Minister with whom he spoke. That is Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Okay, so he spoke to him, thanked him yesterday about that. Okay, and then we move on. Apart from this is Cabinet's nod for new firm to monetize land assets. This is a news under the overall funding. All right, so any monetization, क्या होता है monetization of public assets? It is to make it available for private investment. Now the हमारे लिए इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा important क्या है? Not this particular policy, but the larger one. What is the larger one जो इस साल की यूनियन बजट में अनाउंस करी गई थी? PM गति. Okay, PM गति is the national monetization national monetization program for all public assets around the country that will be available for private investment, from which the government will be raising revenue. For example, जैसे ये मेरा मोबाइल फोन है, right? And इसके ऊपर you all can access election results. अब आपके पास मोबाइल फोन नहीं, let's presume that scenario. So you are using my asset for your limited need. You do not need the mobile phone on a permanent basis. You need it for just checking the election results. So you are using it. Now if I charge you a fee for it, then that can be stated as monetization of the asset. Okay, so the focus for us, all of you, is not this monetization in Delhi capital. The focus is the PM Gati. Exam mein national policies that is asked, so PM Gati is the one that you need to be aware of. Okay, then your questions related to revision series. क्या revision series कौन से month तक होगी? Revision series हम अप्रैल जो भी current affair CLAT 2022 से related current affairs relevant news होगी, we will cover all the months. As things stand, CLAT की date के हिसाब से it will be April month that will be relevant, so we will cover that month. Okay, so then we move on. After center's letters, SEC defers notice to civic poll dates. This news is related to Delhi, where the three municipal corporations of Delhi, North, South and East, will probably be merged once again. So 2012 में these MCDs were divided into three. Now there is plan to unify them once again. Okay, then we move on to other national news. Nothing of note. Make students learn a new English word every day. Nothing of note. 8 Karnataka varsities offer to accept students from Ukraine. उनको medical की seat देने के लिए, so that they can continue there. Nothing of note. Then we come to the editorial section. All right. Sir, PM Gati is different. PM Gati is the one for monetization. It is the union policy for overall monetization of assets. ठीक है? That is the important one. Then on the left hand side is tradition and formality. What is this tradition being talked about? Every year, first session of assemblies या फिर parliament, okay, or the parliament is addressed by the governor or the president. This is a larger scheme of our constitution. This happens everywhere, and every year there are at least 2 sessions of the assembly or the parliament, right? Now the governor address is, who provides the governor address? It is written by the state government. राज्य की सरकार provide करती है to the governor, okay, that see this is all that you have to speak. Mostly it is like a confirmation of the government policies. Without this, the budget session cannot be allowed to run. Now what has happened is, in West Bengal, the governor was unwilling to give the speech, so the budget session would not begin. So he spoke the first line, then did not speak anything, and then spoke the last line and ended his session in 1 to couple of minutes, and that is when the budget was presented. Then in Telangana, what has happened? In Telangana, the budget session itself was not run. What did they do? They just presented the budget as a part of the previous session of the assembly. That we did not break the assembly, we just continued with the previous session. जैसे कि right now, budget session of the parliament is in recess. ठीक है? Is in recess. क्या मतलब है कि intermediate time period के लिए स्थगित किया गया है for a break. So that will count as a continuous session. For example, the parliament convened on 31st January and ran till 10th of February, then it broke and now it will resume on 14th of March. So ये जो mean time था 11th February to 13th of March will be counted as recess. Telangana has done this. What they have done? They have counted their winter session and then recess and then presented the budget instead of continuing or opening a new budget session. कि नया सेशन ही शुरू नहीं हुआ, सो गवर्नर की रिक्वायरमेंट हटा दी. ओके, हमने कल के सेशन में भी वी हैड टॉक्ड अबाउट हाउ दिस इज पार्ट ऑफ कन्वेंशन एंड फॉर्मेलिटी. यूजुअली सी द गवर्नर इज बेसिकली प्रेजेंटिंग गवर्नमेंट्स व्यू. So it is not something that is constitutionally very relevant. It is a practice. उस practice को follow क्यों नहीं कर रही है political parties? Primarily because governor's office is being seen as a political tool, more less of a constitutional authority. We had talked about it yesterday also, कि how Article 155, 151 they are being used by the central government to favor their political interest. This is something that has been done in the past also. We also talked about yesterday the Bomai judgment, the Sarkaria and R.R. Punchu commission for administrative reforms, constitutional reforms की commission. दोनों के अंदर गवर्नर के ऑफिस को नॉन पार्टिजन बनाने की बात करी गई थी. So as the governor's office is becoming more and more partisan, मतलब favoring one political interest over another, political parties in the same state are looking at ways to leapfrog those traditions. That is what the editorial is talking about, कि how this is going to make engagement between political parties more and more difficult. अब हमारे लिए the constitutional norm is the one that is important. So हर साल every time there is the first session of the parliament, it has to open with address of the governor. Okay, this is the norm, right? So this is the one that we have to focus on. Will we have quiz? No, आज हम doubt session करेंगे at 1:10 PM instead of quiz. ये governor वाला समझ नहीं आया. See, the focus is political interest aside, norm क्या है? Constitution में हर साल मान लीजिए अब 2022 है, राजस्थान की असेंबली, दिल्ली की असेंबली, महाराष्ट्र की असेंबली सबसे पहली बार मीट कर रही है. वो सेशन को कैसे शुरू करेंगे? हाउ डू वी बिगिन? जैसे कि इफ यू हैव योर स्कूल फंक्शंस, दे बिगिन विद अ प्रेयर, सरस्वती वंदना, गणेश पूजा, और या आप अपने स्कूल का कोई भी हाउ डू वी क्लोज ऑफ आवर ईयर, जैसे न्यू ईयर सेलिब्रेशन के साथ आपका स्कूल का ईयर खत्म होता है. अब आप लोग 12th में, तो देयर विल बी अ फेयरवेल पार्टी, दैट मीन्स योर स्कूलिंग लाइफ इज ओवर. So these are all part of tradition. नहीं करेंगे तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा कि your schooling will be incomplete, right? So understand norms and compulsions. So this is a norm that every year, every time there is a first session of the parliament or assembly has to open with an address of governor. It may not change the way you function. For example, if there is no puja, if there is no New Year celebration, there is no any other festivity in school, your education will still be complete. It can still be technically complete, but you would feel that something was lacking. Exactly what is happening here, okay? So the focus for us here is that why this is happening, because the office of governor is becoming more and more partisan. For more updates about this कि क्या constitutional norm है, please watch March 9 का newspaper analysis where we talked about the two commissions. दोनों commission के बारे में हमने March 9 के newspaper analysis में बात करी है. Text and context के पेज पे I have provided you with the highlighted new notes also. So please make sure कि आप वो जाके ज़रूर देखें. You watch the last bit of the newspaper analysis from yesterday अगर आपने नहीं देखा है, ठीक है? Sir, session starting from 1st Jan or 1st April, it doesn't matter when it is starting. Whenever it starts, whatever be the date, it has to open with the address of governor. No fixed date. Okay, there is no fixed date. किसी भी दिन स्टार्ट कर सकते, 1 जनवरी, 2 जनवरी, 25 जनवरी, 31 जनवरी, 2 February, 10th March, whenever you may start, it doesn't matter, okay? As there is no fixed date, all right? Then we move on. We'll come to the main editorial in a minute. Then we come a chance for peace. Putin should pause the war and start talks with Zelensky on compromise proposals, okay? What is this about? This is about कि we talked about what? On the front page, yesterday we talked about Zelensky has given up the demand of Ukraine's bid to join NATO. Then what are the other demands of Vladimir Putin? That status of Russian controlled Crimea and breakaway Donetsk and Luhansk republics, okay? Called for a collective security agreement with Russia. And what are the 3 conditions by Russia? So this is Ukraine's stand now. ये यूक्रेन का updated stand है. First things, what is Ukraine's updated stand? ठीक है, रशिया की डिमांड हमने कल भी डिस्कस करी थी. Yesterday, once again, Vladimir Putin talked about it. Why are they doing their special military operation, which is called the invasion of Ukraine? Kiev to accept Crimea as Russian territory first. First demand, Crimea should be recognized as Russian territory. Second, recognize Donetsk and Luhansk as independent countries. Second demand. Third, amend country's constitution to drop attempts to join any bloc and reinstate its neutrality. Ukraine should always become or remain neutral. Not of the West, not of Russia, always neutral. Always a middle path is what Ukraine has to follow. So first, recognize Crimea as Russian territory. Second, recognize Donetsk and Luhansk as independent countries. And third, reinstate Ukrainians' neutrality. Okay, so these are the 3 Russian demands. आप इनको note करिए, all 3 of them as Russia's. कल भी I had made you note down, but once again I am making you note down for those who were not there yesterday. Russia's demands. ठीक है? How should I start preparing notes on current affairs? इसी तरीके से. No, put it down as Ukraine, Russia. Okay. आपकी हेडिंग होगी यूक्रेन रशिया कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. All right. Then the heading is what are Russia's demand, what are Ukraine's demand. Those will be the 2 subheadings for you. Okay. Then what else is the editorial talking about? The editorial is talking about, see, that in the last 2 weeks Zelensky has emerged as Ukrainian resistance face, all of this, but NATO's demand for escalating tensions have been fallen or shot down. There is no other way around for Ukraine to emerge victorious in this conflict. That this is a war Ukraine cannot win. Okay? The Russian power, military power is so much that eventually they will lose out, right? Ukraine cannot win. And it will lead to more and more damage to their country. So better है कि आप you come to a middle point. Because these are updates कि NATO or countries are not willing to assist Ukraine on a military level. If it is a military war, let's say 2 of us are having a thumb fight, right? Now, how can we assist each other? Let's say I am losing the thumb fight, so I would need someone to provide me assistance to make my thumb strong, right? अब instantly it cannot happen. So if I am losing and I know that I am losing and I have no other alternative, so what will I will probably settle with my opponent. That is what this editorial is talking about, because if the conflict keeps on going, it is going to make it more difficult for people who are living in Ukraine, because as the conflict goes on, there is a chance of higher casualties. So let's avoid the casualties. Okay, that is what the editorial is talking about. Can you prepare for CLAT in 2 months? Definitely you can. Aapka current affairs, you can cover it with the revision series. That is something that I have been doing for the past 1 week. Okay, and for other things jaise legal, constitution, quantitative techniques, all of it can be done. English के लिए तो आपको अलग से कोई, even if you have not read anything for English, आप अपनी common sense apply करके भी you can solve it. All right. Then we come to the main editorial. All right. So I am removing all of this. I hope to viewers, if you have not noted it down, आप लोग screenshot ले लो यहाँ पे. I am pausing it for a second, right? So you can just take a screenshot अगर आपने notes नहीं बनाए अभी तक. So just take a screenshot of all of this if you want me to move aside or want me to move this, इसको थोड़ा छोटा करके, so that you all can see it, right? So I hope आप लोग अपना screenshot ले लो इसका, and I am removing it now. Okay, because the main editorial is an important one. An unnecessary war and its grave portents. Okay, Kiev is paying heavy price and a change of tack is needed with cardinal objective to save lives and Ukraine. Okay, I will send it, but this data will not be there anymore. All right, इसी वजह से I have told you take your notes down as we are running. See, the point is, while you are watching, you don't have to read the newspaper later on. आप just अपने running notes बनाते रहो. All right. So then we come to an unnecessary war and its grave portents. M.K. Narayanan, our former security advisor, before Ajit Doval, he was the head of our security arrangement. Then there are two questions, sir. This is Russia's demand from Ukraine and Russia's demand from West is different. Yes. These are two different demands. यूक्रेन से अलग है और वेस्ट से अलग डिमांड्स है. ओके, रशिया ने वेस्ट से डिमांड किया है कि 1991 के बाद नेटो ज्वाइन किया है कंट्रीज, उनको रिमूव करना है, और ये तीन डिमांड स्पेसिफिकली यूक्रेन से. यस, यस एंड यस. दीज आर थ्री डिमांड्स फ्रॉम यूक्रेन. ओके, फ्रॉम वेस्ट, ठीक है, डिमांड्स थिंग्स फॉर वेस्ट टू डू. ओके, रशिया की तरफ से वन, पोस्ट, once again I am reiterating, post 1991 NATO expansion to be done away with, remove those countries. Then second, move away NATO troops फ्रॉम रशियाज बॉर्डर. अब रशिया के बॉर्डर पे कहाँ पे है नेटो ट्रूप्स? लैटविया, लिथुएनिया, एस्टोनिया. सो वहां से अपने नेटो ट्रूप्स हटाओ. ऑल राइट, मूव अवे नेटो ट्रूप्स फ्रॉम रशियाज बॉर्डर्स. एंड द थर्ड वन इज, in future, if you want to do any military exercise in our region, if you want to do any military exercise, inform Russia for future expansion. Inform for future exercises. Okay, these are the demands for West. These are the demands for Ukraine. Okay, clear? Then very good afternoon, Vincent. Ukraine की demand, these are demands to Ukraine. Okay, and this is Ukraine's updated stand. All right. Then anyone for DULB? All right. CLAT में minority religion का भी reservation होता है. Certain NLUs have reservation not from religion perspective, but आप लोगों के लिए होता है based on your domicile. Okay, जैसे people from armed forces, sports quota, people from residents of Jammu and Kashmir, उनके लिए अलग अलग some universities have. For example, in some universities there is reservation for tribal people, though there is no religion specific reservation at NLUs. Okay, अब दिस आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. वेस्ट को क्या करना है रशिया के हिसाब से और यूक्रेन को क्या क्या करना है. टू सेपरेट डिमांड्स फॉर टू डिफरेंट साइड्स. ऑलराइट, सो दिस विल बी रिमेनिंग ऑन योर स्क्रीन. आप लोग बाद में भी नोट डाउन कर सकते हो. नाउ बिफोर आई गेट इनटू दिस एडिटोरियल, आई वांट टू मूव एंड इन्फॉर्म वंस अगेन कि 1:10 PM पे आई विल बी डूइंग अ डाउट सेशन. आपके पुराने मॉक्स से रिलेटेड एनी सब्जेक्ट ऑफ क्लैट, एनी अदर डाउट्स दैट यू हैव, यू कैन आस्क मी वर्बली through Unacademy special class at 1:10 PM. And अगर आप मुझे पहली बार देख रहे, if you are someone who is watching me for the very first time, I am Kushagra Goyal, a graduate from National Law University, a master's in economics. Last year I helped AI students to achieve AIR 4, AIR 16, CLAT 21, plus the revision series that I am doing once again this year got 90% of questions in the GK section. So do attend the revision series. And जो notes आप अपनी screen पे देख रहे हैं, ये सारे notes will be available to you on bit.ly/kusagknotes and unacademy.com/community/ygrjjz. अगर आपको कोई डाउट है, नोट्स नहीं मिल रहे हैं, कुछ कंफ्यूजन है अबाउट एनीथिंग, यू कैन रीच आउट टू मी ऑन माई टेलीग्राम चैनल दैट इज कुशाग्र गोयल द लीगल गेम _unacad. यहाँ पे you all can reach out to me. Okay, now if you are at this moment, I would also like to ask you that if you have liked the analysis until now, so please give this video a thumbs up. इसको like ज़रूर करिए because that means a lot to us as content creators. It helps us reach a wider audience of aspirants just like you. So if you have liked the analysis, please give it a thumbs up. Okay, now with that request out of the way, let's go back to our analysis, right? Now there are 2 points that are being made by M.K. Narayanan sir. One, people-centric. The first one is that who is suffering because of this conflict as of now? Is it Zelensky? Is Russia suffering? No. Who are suffering? The most of the suffering is happening to people of Ukraine, right? They are the one who have to leave their homes, right? They are the main victims. They are the victim of this conflict, okay, as of right now. In this power game between Russia, West and Zelensky and his own political ones, the focus of the suffering, who are suffering because of this conflict, it is the people of Ukraine. The second point that is being made about here is more of an economic concern. For Western countries, the concern in Ukraine is not to save Ukraine. The country is still being bombed, people are still dying, soldiers of Ukraine are dying, soldiers of Russia are dying, but their focus is purely economic. So what is the West concern right now? West का response क्या है? Economic sanctions, right? SWIFT's finance system, ban on Russian exports, ban on Russian oil, ban on Russian gas, make it difficult for them to access their sovereign funds, make it difficult for make their currencies value devalued. So all of it is focused on economic value, that the West should benefit out of this crisis on the economic value. Ki whatever be the human cost, that doesn't matter. At least we are economically safe even after the crisis is the Western response. This is the second point. The third one is, it is pointing out ki how UNO has become irrelevant. Just like its predecessor, UN का predecessor था League of Nations. Okay, League of Nations was formed after the First World War. ठीक है, and it had failed to prevent the Second World War, where US was not a member of it and Nazi Germany withdrew from League of Nations, invaded Poland, invaded Austria, invaded Hungary, invaded France, and the World War II began. So League of Nations की तरह ही UNO भी irrelevant होता जा रहा है. Neither is it able to prevent talks, ensure कि talks से बात सुलझ जाए, any conflict gets resolved, and more and more any resolution, if it is coming from countries' initiative. For example, Belarus is hosting the peace talks now. The foreign minister of Russia and the foreign minister of Ukraine will be traveling to Turkey to meet up with them for a summit to resolve the conflict. It is Olaf Scholz and Emmanuel Macron, who are constantly at phone with Vladimir Putin to resolve the conflict. So it is not UNO, but country-specific initiative. For example, Ukrainian President Zelensky is asking Indian counterpart, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, to use his rapport with Russia to resolve the conflict, end the conflict then and there, right? He urged the same with Xi Jinping also, because they also have good relationship with Russia. So the focus is not a international one, but a national level pe hi conflict resolve ho pa rahi. So the other theme is this. Then it is talking about the next segment of it is deconstructing Ukraine. Okay, that what is Ukraine as a country and what is its history. So Ukraine has been part in some ways of the Soviet Union and the internal conflict in Ukraine. So West Ukraine, if we see the map of Ukraine, let's divide it like this. Western part of Ukraine is mostly Catholic, and the eastern part is Orthodox Christians, all right, Orthodox church. So they are a little different in their religious segment also, which has created internal conflict in Ukraine. Plus, prior to 1991, Ukraine had a tussle with Russia, but most of it has been power game between Russia and Kiev or government in Kiev. And uske baad se, apart from this, is the way the government of Ukraine has functioned. So 2014 mein, there was a president of Ukraine who was removed by the People's Revolt. Now he had been elected by the people, and since then the current president of Ukraine, that is Volodymyr Zelensky, he believes in grandstanding, right? He is not actually being so M.K. Narayanan is a diplomat. He's talking about, see, the purpose of a president is to save his own people. How is he saving his own people? By making them suffer. They have to leave their homes. They have to push outside. They are living in bunkers. They are the ones who are suffering at the end of Russian conflict. All because of his open love affair with the West. Continuously talking about engagement with West, European identity. If you did not have the strength to withstand the pressure from Russia, you should have been pragmatic enough in your approach of politics. There was no direct benefit accruing to your people. Who are you responsible to? To the people of Ukraine. If you are not able to protect your own people, what is the point of this love affair with NATO that you were trying to reach out to? All right, let's see. This has badly come back to Zelensky. So this analysis, Zelensky employs grandstanding and strategy, and Putin is a born fighter. Currently an unlikely hero of his fellow countrymen, he could go well down in history as someone who caused the ruin of Ukraine. There is no glory in losses. There is no glory in a destruction of an entire civilization. You as a ruler, if you were the one who was responsible to protect your people, if you are unable to do it only because you wanted to openly have a pro-Western inclination, where the Western countries have not come to your aid, that has not assisted Ukraine, right? So the editorial is pointing, see, the purpose of statesmen is to protect their own country. And if you were not strong enough to protect your own country, there was no point in this open expansion or tilt towards West. Similarly, it is also pointing out that what will NATO achieve by including other Russian or former Soviet Union republics, like Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova? What is NATO going to achieve out of it? It only frustrated Russia even more. Inflation has risen, conflict is back in Ukraine. So NATO should also be pragmatic about its approach on how it is working. Okay, further extension of NATO further to the east should be given up, and effort should be made to rebuild bridges existed between Russia and the rest of Europe. Until 2004, Vladimir Putin himself had a public opinion that, see, if Europe has to be secure and NATO is that security alliance, include us in the security alliance too. We should also be part of it, and that will ensure that we never fight with each other. NATO has actively always called Russia a threat. So you have created the bridge, you have created the gap between the two. So your focus now should be to resolve tensions. So the editorial is telling us different perspectives to the conflict. ठीक है, different perspectives to peace. How can peace be achieved to save the people? Now if we get a CLAT passage जैसा हमें 2020 के अंदर आया था related to Israel Palestine, उस तरीके से such an article is important because it tells us what are the options of different people. What, for example, in 2020 you got a question, is Abraham Accords a method for better resolution of the Palestinian conflict? उसी तरीके से you can be asked a question, is the Minsk protocol or revival of Minsk protocol a better solution for Ukraine? What is the steps for West to adopt to ensure peace with Russia? So those kind of questions, if they come in your GK section वापस से in 2022, this editorial will help you understand it far more. Okay. Then your questions related to sir क्या OBC certificate beneficial होगा for BA LLB in IPO or in NLU? Yes. In certain NLUs you do get other backward caste reservations, so वहाँ पे आपको ज़रूरत पड़ेगी. Hi Anshika, hi Yogi, very good evening to very good afternoon to you both. आप लोगों को डाउट सेशन का लिंक कहाँ पे मिलेगा? डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में आप मेरी अनअकैडमी की प्रोफाइल फॉलो कर सकते हैं. चैट में लिंक भी पिन हुआ है ऑफ माई टेलीग्राम ग्रुप, वहाँ पे भी आई विल सेंड इट, सो यू कैन रीच आउट टू मी देयर ऑल्सो. Hi Sanjana, very good afternoon to you also. So this article is very important to understand different perspectives to peace. हमें एग्जाम में अगर पीस सेंट्रिक कोई आता है, so this is the key one, so please focus on it. इसको ज़रूर पढ़ना. अगर आपको कोई डाउट है इस एडिटोरियल में, so ask me once again tomorrow अपने एडिटोरियल में या डाउट सेशन के टाइम you can ask me about it once again. So very very important, do focus on it. Will we have quiz? नहीं, we will not have quiz. We will have a doubt session today at 1:10. ठीक है, we will have a doubt session, so please focus. Doubt session होगा आज 1:10, not the quiz. Link is in the description box. आप description box में इसका link मिल सकता है. Okay. Then we move on to the next one, challenges to so yeah, previous उससे पहले this one, water management needs a hydro-social this is a policy one, ये एग्जाम में नहीं आएगा. This is about how we have different river linking projects, उससे water cycle of the earth पे क्या impact पड़ता है उसके बारे में. This is not important from CLAT perspective, so आप इसको skip कर सकते हैं. Then challenges to Tamil Nadu urban future, how to revive urbanization policy article skip कर दीजिए. Right one, new vision for old age care, how to better prepare for old age homes, how to prepare for that. This is again policy one, not important. ठीक है, उसके बाद आते हैं the Shashikala factor. This is political analysis, Tamil Nadu, not important. Attitudes toward gender role in India, ये Pew Center के सर्वे पे based है. How do people see the roles of women and men in the society? You can see on your own what side of the aisle do you fall. आप अपनी opinion इससे consult कर सकते हैं. Nothing from examination perspective. Then we come to the other national news. Okay, so the first one is China looks for acceptable solution at LAC to focus on Petrol Point 15 in Hot Springs. This will be the 15th commander level talks since 2020. 2020 के बाद से इंडिया चाइना के बीच में 15th कमांडर लेवल टॉक्स होंगी. Where will they be focused on? Petrol Point 15. अब ये These will happen on March 11, so March 12 को हमें पता पड़ेगा. पिछली conversation 14th and 13th, both of them were for Hot Springs, but कोई resolution नहीं हुआ था. Apart from Hot Springs, Chinese have taken territory at Depsang Plains also, but उसके बारे में they are not willing to talk right now. ठीक है? So this is something जो 12 मार्च को ही हमें पता पड़ेगा कि क्या discussion हुआ है. इसके अलावा we cannot speculate anything else. Then we come अपर लिमिट फॉर नीट यूजी अंडरग्रेड एग्जाम के लिए रिमूव कर दी गई है. अब मेडिकल के लिए देयर इज नो अपर लिमिट. इवन इफ लेट्स से लेटर ऑन फॉर एग्जांपल आई हैव अ डिमांड कि अब मैं मेडिकल की तैयारी करना चाहता हूं तो आई कैन आल्सो डू इट. द लिमिटेशन हैज बीन रिमूव्ड. पहले क्लैट में भी होती थी. दिस वाज आल्सो चैलेंज्ड एट डिफरेंट लेवल्स. ओके, सो अपर एज नहीं होनी चाहिए फॉर अंडरग्रेड कोर्सेज. दिस हैज बीन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट verdict on different levels. Then we have political news की counting चल रही है, you all must also know कि election counting is undergoing. Then we move on. The Hindu Groupsman Publisher of the Year Award title at different private awards. ये private awards exam में नहीं पूछे जाते हैं journalism के, so you can avoid them. Then we come to the news here, all right, on the small side in the right. Covovax nod for use of 12 to 17. So this is the vaccine Covovax. This has been given approval for admission between people for 12 to 17 की age group में, but अभी तक only Covaxin is actually being administered. All right, 4 vaccines have been given approval for children, but अभी तक सिर्फ Covaxin is the one that is actually being given. ठीक है? So the vaccine name and the manufacturer becomes important. Covovax is being manufactured by the Serum Institute of India. Then on the right hand side, left hand side is this news. This is important for all of you. Cabinet nod for Traditional Medicine Center. कहाँ पे बनाया जाएगा? WHO के support से Global Center for Traditional Medicine, WHO GCTM, where will be established Jamnagar in Gujarat. This is where it will be established. कौन सी ministry के अंडर? Ayush Ministry, which is the ministry for naturopathy, Ayurved, Yoga, Unani and Siddha, which are the alternative ones for medical treatment. Okay, so apart from allopathy, all the other treatments for medical ailments comes under the Ministry of Ayush. So Jamnagar in Gujarat is where the Global Center for Traditional Medicine is being built. Okay, इसको कैबिनेट की मंजूरी मिल गई है, so now the money will come for this. ठीक है? Then we come to this news is related to PMLA case. Okay, ये कौन से cases है? These are related to ED, Enforcement Directorate. Enforcement Directorate बहुत ज़्यादा न्यूज़ में ED की रेड against opposition members to pressurize them into supporting the current political party. Now this is the one उसके against Supreme Court is hearing the challenge. So this is an ongoing news. But अगर इसकी arguments and judgment CLAT से पहले आ जाती है, then it will become important for us from our examination perspective. ठीक है? Then we move on the international news. Russia keeps pressure on Ukrainian cities. Kiev says its forces. So Russia is slowly progressing on the north but making significant gains from the south and has captured a significant amount of territory in the southern part of Ukraine. The war has entered its 14th day now. All right, so the pressure is on by the Ukrainian Russian forces on Ukraine. In the meantime, food prices will go up because Ukraine has now banned exports of wheat, oats and other staples. Middle Eastern countries and Central Asian countries rely on Ukraine for their supplies of wheat, oats and other staples. Now that they are banned, the prices of them will go up. Okay. उसके अलावा bio-weapon use. Bio programs, research on biochemical weapons is the one that give information on how this is being done in Ukraine अगर ऐसा हो रहा है, because biological and chemical weapons both are banned under international agreements. Then we come, this was a news that had happened 2 months ago when an individual was given a genetically modified heart of a pig that was placed in a human effort. The process is known as xenotransplantation. Xenotransplantation. Okay. Xenotransplantation method को use करके a heart of a pig which was genetically modified was placed in a human being, but that person has died after 2 months. Okay, so this person was already a convict, jail में थे वो, उनके ऊपर ये medical experiment किया गया था and now he has died. All right, so this is a news related to the medical process of xenotransplantation. ठीक है, xenotransplantation क्या होता है? When you have genetically modified parts from animals placed in human beings, उसको xenotransplantation कहते हैं. What are bioweapons? Bioweapons is chemical weapons. जैसे for example we had the Bhopal gas tragedy. अगर that was an accident, but अगर intentionally उस तरीके का कुछ cause किया जाए, so those are known as bioweapons. Okay. Then Antarctic explorer Shackleton's ship discovered after a century. This was related to a exploration conducted by Ernest Shackleton. ठीक है, उनका ship Endurance has now been found. He had started this expedition with the intention to look out for the first person to cross the Antarctica via South Pole, but the mission had failed obviously because there is ice there and the continent is there, you cannot cross it. So way back in 1914 he had tried. अब वो ship को वापस से ढूंढ लिया गया है. ठीक है. Who founded it? Mention-bound director, exploration of Endurance 22 expedition. ठीक है. They went in the sea, found it below the sea, submerged in the sea. जैसे Titanic, you all must have seen the Titanic movie, जहाँ पे Titanic को explore किया गया. We used cameras, undersea vessels to explore and look at the shipwreck. So they have also looked at the shipwreck. What is the shipwreck? Shipwreck of the ship Endurance. Whose ship was it? Ernest Shackleton, who tried to explore South Pole via sea in 1914. So 100 साल बाद we have found the ship once again. Okay, where is it? In the sea. For experience purposes. Apart from this, nothing of note. Then we move on. Global stocks rebound, Sensex rebounding, nothing of note in that. Sports may be nothing of note. Okay. Then Ravindra Jadeja has topped Test all-rounder charts. Okay, this is for the first time that this has happened. Latest after his heroics in the current test with Sri Lanka. So Ravindra Jadeja topping the first all-rounders category here. Okay. Then we move on to text and context. Okay. Text and context mein there are two things that are very important for us. We'll first focus on the second one. Okay. The second one is feature phones में UPI transfer. All of you must be using Google Pay, Paytm, Bheem or any other app, right? What are you using? You are using unified payment interface. But उसके लिए you need a smartphone and you need an internet connection. Now the RBI has launched an initiative. What is it? UPI 123 Pay. इसके अंदर you can use your feature phone without internet to transfer money from one phone to another. All right. This is the feature that has been launched by RBI to allow feature phones without internet to indulge in UPI transactions. Okay. And this is something that is now allowed. So the name of the platform becomes important. How will it be done? This will be using आपका bank account, mobile number linked होगा. तब you can do it and it will be done in 4 processes. There are 4 options to make internet payment. Payments, IVR, voice के through, app based functionality, कुछ feature phones में apps चलती है, so you can use those apps. Missed call facility या proximity sound based payments. Okay, इसके अंदर proximity sound based payments का क्या मतलब है? Sound wave tenable contactless offline communication. जैसे पहले infrared होता था, Bluetooth होता था, उसी तरीके से this payment can be done. All right. Then we come, so UPI 123 Pay is important from your GK perspective कि ये क्या है, ठीक है? This is very very important. Now this is also very similar to how it is being done in Africa, ठीक है? So similar systems in Africa are M-Pesa, all right, which was launched by Vodafone's Kenyan associates Safaricom. Okay, they did it through that, and it is a system that has 314 billion US dollars in transaction. हर साल अफ्रीका में M-Pesa is used as a medium to transfer money through feature phones without internet. Okay, so now Indian counterpart system of M-Pesa is UPI 123 Pay. Very very important. ठीक है, यूपीआई का इंट्रोडक्शन इंडिया में 2016 में हुआ था. इट इज द वन दैट इज यूज्ड. डीमोनेटाइजेशन के टाइम द रेट ऑफ यूपीआई ट्रांजैक्शंस इंक्रीज एंड मोस्ट ऑफ आवर ट्रांजैक्शंस नाउ हैपन थ्रू यूपीआई. ओके, उसके अलावा देन वी कम टू इनलैंड वाटर ट्रांसपोर्ट. ठीक है, दिस इज अ सिस्टम, दिस इज अ पॉलिसी दैट द गवर्नमेंट हैड अनाउंस्ड फॉर inland waterways. All right. Okay, now how is this done? और where will it go और how it is being done. Okay, इससे related चीजें आपको note करनी है. First of all, when did it start? Ganga from Patna. From Patna, it is now going to Guwahati's Pandu port on southern bank of Brahmaputra on March 6. Okay, this is the India's largest water systems. ये आपको पता ही है, Ganga and Brahmaputra, two of the largest rivers. अब now these rivers can actually be used to transport goods from one country to another. Instead of building highways, already जो नदी है उसमें नाव उतारो और वहां से सामान ट्रांसफर करो, right? Upper stream to lower stream, जैसे all the way to Bangladesh. Okay, so how was it done? The cargo name was M.V. Lal Bahadur Shastri, named after our former Prime Minister. Okay, now how is this being done? Is through inland waterways. जैसे highways होते हैं उसी तरीके से we have Inland Waterways Authority of India. ठीक है, who is the minister under which this is happening? Sarbananda Sonowal. Okay, the idea was first mooted by our current highway or transport minister Nitin Gadkari. Okay, the focus is to build 6 inland waterway highways. Okay, 6 of them should be done in India for the purpose. सबसे पहली बार कब हुआ था? 2018 में. When did it first happen? 2018. Okay, उसके अलावा there are 2 of these highways, NH Inland Waterways, National Waterways 1 and National Waterways 2. ठीक है, where are they? National Waterways 1 and 2. The focus of them is the river system, that is Ganga and Brahmaputra, their focus. Okay, the river name is important and the year when it first started. उसके अलावा when is it possible? How can we do it? We can do it too through the India or Indo-Bangladesh protocol routes. Okay, because Bangladesh is connected by India through these 2 things. So what are these 2 protocol routes that you have to note down? Sirajganj, Dhukowa and Ashuganj, Zakinganj in Bangladesh. Okay, so these are the 2 protocols. How can they benefit us? They will reduce almost 1000 kilometers of travel. Okay, this is the focus. All right. Now your questions. National Waterway 1 cargo name M.V. Lal Bahadur Shastri, named after our second Prime Minister M.V. Lal Bahadur Shastri. ठीक है, अब ये भारत सरकार की कौन सी पॉलिसी के अंडर बनाए जा रहे हैं? जल मार्ग विकास प्रोजेक्ट. ओके, द गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी इज जल मार्ग विकास प्रोजेक्ट. ओके, द 2 रूट्स विद बांग्लादेश, Sirajganj, Daikhowa and Ashuganj, Zakiganj. Okay, those are the 2 names. Then the project under which they are being done, Jal Marg Vikas project, that is the one. What are the protocols? Indo-Bangladesh protocol rules. How they reduce the distance? 1000 kilometers का distance कम करते हैं वो इंडिया बांग्लादेश के बीच में trade route का. ठीक है, and this will also help unlock northeast through waterways. अभी तक क्या है, नॉर्थ ईस्ट की कनेक्टिविटी इज ओनली लिंक टू लैंड, बट waterways के थ्रू we can connect with northeast at a much better level. Okay, so this is all that we need to note down about it. Very important. Again, Jal Vikas Marg project. Okay, ठीक है, under this, so UPI 123 pay and Jal Vikas Marg project, 2 very important ones for our examination perspective, right? So with this we will be concluding. Now before I conclude, let's do a quick rundown of the newspaper, and before you all leave, अगर आपको ये newspaper analysis अच्छा लगा है, so please give it a thumbs up. It means a lot to us, and it also tells that we need to strive for betterment. So if you do not like something, then tell us through the comment section. Reach out ki sir, this is something that we would want more. So do that. Use the tools of YouTube to engage with us more, and your thumbs up tells us that whatever we are doing is something correct. Okay, so quick rundown, क्या क्या आपको newspaper में पढ़ना है. First, update from Ukraine. What are their updated offers? Part of Operation Ganga is now over, so the name of the operation. ठीक है. 5 neighboring countries of Ukraine were involved in Operation Ganga: Hungary, Romania, Moldova, Poland and Slovakia. Okay, all 5 countries that were part of Operation Ganga: Hungary, Moldova, Slovakia, Romania and Poland. Okay. Then PM Gati is the national monetization program जिसके अंदर public assets are being monetized. Then we have on the editorial section, the main editorial is very very important for all of you to understand different perspectives of how to resolve the conflict. So peace, very important editorial, please read it. जो भी highlighted part है उनको भी याद रखिए. ट्रेडिशन एंड फॉर्मेलिटी, हर नए साल के पहले सेशन को गवर्नर एड्रेस करेगा, दैट इज द थिंग. ठीक है. उसके अलावा चांस फॉर पीस, सो रशिया की क्या डिमांड है यूक्रेन से, रशिया की क्या डिमांड है वेस्ट से, और यूक्रेन का अपडेटेड स्टैंड क्या है. सो ऑल ऑफ इट इज रिटन ऑन योर नोट्स हेयर. देन ओपेड पेज, नथिंग ऑफ नोट. उसके बाद इंडिया विल हैव इट्स नेक्स्ट लेवल ऑफ कमांडर लेवल टॉक्स विद चाइना. दिस विल बी अबाउट हॉट स्प्रिंग्स पेट्रोल पॉइंट नंबर 15. 12 मार्च को विल गेट टू नो व्हाट हैज बीन डिस्कस्ड. उसके अलावा देन कोवोवैक्स गेटिंग अप्रूवल. देन ईडी एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट लॉ का अब्यूज से रिलेटेड सुप्रीम कोर्ट की पिटिशन इज ऑन गोइंग. एंड जामनगर इन गुजरात विल बी द वन वेयर सेंटर फॉर ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिन along with WHO will be established. So Jamnagar in Gujarat, very important. Then xenotransplantation के through किया गया artificial heart transplantation failed. 2 months के अंदर the person has died. And then Ernest Shackleton, explorer of 1914 who died in 1922. His ship Endurance has now, the shipwreck of ship Endurance has been recovered 3,000 below the sea level. Okay. Then on text and context, the news is related to Jal Vikas Marg project, and the second one is UPI 123 pay. Okay, last के अंदर this is about analysis of Aam Aadmi Party and how they have become successful. Right now they are leading in trends in Punjab, which can explain how they are expanding their national footprint. So this is something, if you are interested in politics, आप पढ़ सकते हो. So with this we conclude. Once again अभी 1:10 PM पे we will be doing doubt session. अगर आपके कोई भी doubts है, so please reach out to me using the doubt session. Okay, learners app के through you can do it. Use the code KUSHGK. And बाकी क्या क्या नोट करना है. So 3 editorials, points within them which I have highlighted. Then we have Operation Ganga concludes. उसके बाद we have the next one is Jamnagar, Gujarat, where the alternative center for medical, ठीक है, जामनगर गुजरात वाला न्यूज़. and UPI 123 पे, ठीक है. So these are the starred ones that you have to note down. All right. So with this we will be concluding. Now अगर आपको exam dates के बारे में idea नहीं है, so then you can see this slide. This will also be available. As of right now, CLAT की date is May 8. आज CBSE का time schedule should come out. So if the exam is to be postponed, we'll get a confirmation by the weekend. ठीक है. So तब तक पूरे इस weekend wait करो exam postponement की news के बारे में. पूरा एक इस वीकेंड तक वेट. आई नो ऑल ऑफ यू आर एंग्शियस कि एग्जाम कब होगा. सो वेट आउट फॉर वन मोर वीकेंड फॉर अ कंफर्मेशन. ओके. उसके अलावा इफ यू वांट टू स्टडी मोर फ्रॉम मी to prepare for your CLAT preparation, then you can join the rank booster batch of Unacademy, where I will be taking your classes for GK. This will be a batch for 2022 and 2023 aspirants. Then there is a new बैच फॉर 2023 एस्पिरेंट्स अगर आप अपनी प्रेपरेशन अभी शुरू करना चाहते हो विद लेट्स क्रैक क्लैट. देन देयर इज अ टेस्ट सीरीज बैच फॉर 2022 एस्पिरेंट्स विच बिगिंस ऑन March 9. देन स्मैश अ डाउट वीकेंड. सो आज आई विल बी टेकिंग योर डाउट्स, सो यू कैन रीच आउट टू मी एट 1:10 PM अभी से 10 मिनट में. ठीक है. उसके अलावा इफ़ यू आर स्टडिंग फॉर स्टेट एंट्रेंस एग्जाम जैसे बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी, इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी, महाराष्ट्र RU University or IP or PU University, so you can join Legal Fix या Mighty Legal Crash Course to prepare for your examination. And if you are looking for batch, then take the Iconic subscription because this subscription provides you with live mentorship along with priority in classes and live doubt solving. Mentorship is 10-minute sessions with mentors to help you solve doubts, discuss strategy, discuss your revision schedule, all of it. And to avail it, you can use the code KUSHGK. This will get you a 10% discount on your subscriptions. So make sure अगर आप 2022 aspirants हो, take a 3-month subscription. अगर आप 2023 aspirant हो, you can take a 12-month subscription. That will be the beneficial one. Alright, so once again, before I conclude doubt session in 10 minutes, भूलना मत, कोई भी mock test के doubts है तो you can take it and ask them today. Why ask them over Unacademy special class? Because they are totally free of cost. आप audio के through अपने questions पूछ सकते हो मुझसे. Plus the lecture notes will be available to you immediately, and you can watch these classes at any moment of time. Okay. So on that note, notes will be available on these two links, that is bit.ly/KUSHGK notes and unacademy.com/community/YGRJJZ. अगर आपको स्पेशल क्लास का लिंक चाहिए अबाउट द डाउट सेशन, watch the Telegram channel, that is Kushagra Goyal, the legal game _Unacad. I will be sending the link there. On that note, thank you so much all of you. अगर आपको सेशन अच्छा लगा, so please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and if you are new to the channel, do subscribe. कल वापस से 12 बजे मिलते हैं.